Hello everyone, welcome back. This is video 3 in this 4-part video series on the confirmation checklist. There are certain things that we're looking for before we can enter into the market and feel confident about having a successful trade. Last week we talked about, the first week we talked about support and resistance. Last week we talked about trend lines. This week we're going to talk about pullbacks. Now let me give you the technical definition of pullbacks. Pullbacks, the main confirmation necessary to confirm the actual continuation of a trend. Last week we talked about trend lines. So if you combine pullbacks with all of the other confirmations that we're talking about, like support and resistance, trend lines, now pullbacks is going to help us confirm the actual continuation of the trend, because remember I said that the trend is your friend. You want to trade the trend. If the market is moving up, you want to trade the market up. If the market is moving down, you want to trade the market down. So today we're talking about pullbacks. Now the reason why pullbacks is so important is because it really gives us that visual confirmation for us to enter based off of a couple key things. Number one that we have to apply into this whole thing is that patience is a factor. Now, like I said, we talked about price resistance and trend lines. Okay, so now what I have drawn up here is previous support and resistance lines. We have previous support, previous resistance, previous resistance, previous support. Now the main focus for pullbacks is really a continuation of a trend. The way we do this is very simple. So this really helps me. When I call support and resistance, what I really mean is floor and ceiling. Now, in order for me to confirm that it's actually going into an uptrend, I needed to do something very simple. As I see an area of resistance before, or a ceiling, I need price to break above it, to break the ceiling, and to test that ceiling as a floor. As you can see, as in another example right here, it's a ceiling. This is resistance, it's the ceiling. I need price to break above that ceiling and resistance and to test it as a floor. So guys, as you can see over here, we have an area of resistance, okay? We see it break that resistance slash ceiling and become support, or also known as a floor. So, okay, now there's a couple key things that help me really strategically know where price is going to move, okay? When I see these movements, the most important part of the movement, the most important part is these areas right here. Now, the reason why it's so important, let me change the color of this so you can see this a little better, okay? The reasons why this is so important is because in order for me to see if an area is going to be strong, when it breaks, when it tests again, is a newfound floor. This is for an uptrend. We'll do a downtrend here in a minute. You're going to see this push. You're going to see this move, this initial momentum movement up. It's going to push up, and then what you're going to see, it's going to pull back, and then you're going to see a push, and then the real move, and you see a push, and then you see the real move. Our main focus is to capture the real moves behind the whole thing. Now, in order for that to happen, with every area, as you can see on this cursor here, on my crosshairs here, you see a horizontal and vertical line here, pretty much an extended crosshair everywhere I go. So I see that price is breaking above. I utilize that horizontal line to utilize which area of resistance or this ceiling that it broke. Now I'm going to know this area is important. That way, when price comes down to test this area again, which it did twice, it respects it. I know that this ceiling is now respected as a floor. Reason why this move is so important is because look, I see it break using my horizontal crosshairs. See there, boom, it broke this area of resistance. You see it come up, it dropped back below just a little, test this, then pulls above it, and now it becomes a newfound floor. I see this push up. This push dictates which area that it breaks. Now, which area that it breaks, I know that that level is now an area I want to watch, because it's going to come back and test that area as the floor. When it comes back to test that area, that's called a pullback. It broke the ceiling, and now it's going to come back. It's going to pull back and test what was the ceiling. It's going to test it as the floor. That's called a pullback. So you see how important this is, because when it pulls back and tests the what used to be ceiling, it tested as a floor. That's where I want to enter a trade. So you see the level of resistance. See how it broke above? That's testing. I see it breaks above. See the horizontal crosshairs? Boom, it broke this area. I know this is that area for it to test as a floor. So it pulled back and tested that as a floor. Let me show you an example in a downtrend. Let's see this area. Now if you look closely, you have an area of support. Yes, Bryce broke a little below that, but then it came back above, so it was still respected. But if I utilize this zone here, let me draw this. I'm going to show you, let me highlight this, where we need to be entering into a trade, okay? Let me show you. This is very simple. If I don't see a pullback happening, I'm not getting into a trade, because there's no reason to chase the market. You want to go with the flow. So we want to make sure we have our confirmations. Pullbacks are very important. Let me just draw these lines out here. I want you to see where we should be entering these trades on these pullbacks. Then I'm going to break this down on details. Just like it was going for an uptrend before, we're going to look at the downtrend. Because like I said, we can make money in the market going down as well. Not just people freak out when, oh, well, the market's going down, the market's going down. Well, that's okay. I make just as much money with the market going down as I do with it going up. This is very powerful stuff, people. So pullbacks are when we want to enter trades, when we use it in combination to support and resistance and the trend of the market. And what pullbacks do is pullbacks confirm the trend. It confirms the continuation of the trend of the market, so that I can continue to trade with the trend and not go against the trend. So if we're in the downtrend here, what I'm looking for is these pullback positions. See, this is an awesome short position. Just going to continue to highlight these positions for you so you can see where I would enter and how strategically you can start to look and see where to get in these trades. Now, the reason why I even started utilizing the power of the pullbacks is because, you know, when you're starting out as a new trader, you're always trying to figure out where to get into a trade. It's so hard to just, if I can just get into a trade. Well, these pullbacks are the spots where you want to enter trades. Let me highlight these areas here so that you can get a visual of what I'm saying. This technique is just one more confirmation on the checklist, but this allows you to capture all of this market. See, as you enter into each one of these locations, you'll see you're actually going to capture the majority of that market move. As you can see here, this is an average of what, 140 pips, okay? This is an average of, let's see how many pips this is right here, right? 272 pips, even this little mini one, 101 pips, 380 pips. Look how big this is, you know, I mean, so it's very, very, very powerful in how you can take major pieces of the market just by using pullbacks. So again, with support and resistance, and then trading with the trends, using pullbacks as an entry point to get into the trend of the market. This is how you begin to raise the probability of successful trades. This is how you become confident before you hit that buy, before you hit that sell button. This gives you more confidence in doing that. And don't make the same mistake that so many people do, and I'm as well, I'm guilty of this, because I just want to jump in and trade. I just want to I'm in the mood to trade. I want to make something happen, and I don't check anything. You just jump in, and then you're going to get in trouble. But no, if you'll use the checklist and go through these confirmations that I'm giving you, this will help you raise the probability of the success when you open positions in your trade. Okay, guys, I'm enjoying sharing this information with you. We have a couple more videos to come. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys next time. Until then, you be blessed.